Hello everyone. I think many of you have already seen these images. The new The Odyssey movie is finally here, but have you ever wondered where the story really comes from? Today, we're going back thousands of years to explore the true origins of the Odyssey, from the legendary Trojan War to the epic journey of Odysseus. Let's begin. Long before kingdoms rose and fell, before history was written into books, there lived a hero whose name would echo across the ages. His name was Odysseus, king of the island of Ithaca. He was not the strongest warrior in Greece. He was not blessed with the power of Hercules or the invincibility of Achilles. Instead, Odysseus possessed something far more dangerous, an extraordinary mind. His intelligence would win a great war, but it would also anger the gods. This is the legendary story of the Odyssey, an epic journey filled with monsters, witches, gods, and impossible choices. It is a tale of courage, temptation, sacrifice, and the relentless desire to return home. Nearly 3,000 years after it was first told, this ancient Greek masterpiece continues to inspire books, films, and countless adventures. But behind every legend lies a deeper truth. So let us sail back into the ancient world, where every island hides a mystery, every wave conceals a monster, and every decision can change destiny forever. Our story begins after one of the greatest wars in mythology, the Trojan War. For 10 long years, the armies of Greece fought against the mighty city of Troy. Countless heroes fell in battle, and neither side could claim victory. Then Odysseus devised a brilliant plan. He ordered the construction of an enormous wooden horse, large enough to hide a group of Greek warriors inside. The rest of the Greek army pretended to sail away, leaving the horse behind as what appeared to be a gift. The Trojans celebrated what they believed was their victory and pulled the horse through the gates of their city. That night, while Troy slept, the hidden warriors emerged from the horse and secretly opened the city gates. The Greek army returned. By sunrise, the once glorious city of Troy had fallen. The war was over. Odysseus had become one of Greece's greatest heroes. At last, he could return to his beloved wife Penelope and his young son, Telemachus, waiting on the peaceful island of Ithaca. And so he believed, because while men celebrated his victory, one immortal watched with growing anger, Poseidon, the mighty god of the sea. Although Odysseus had survived the war, he had unknowingly set himself on a path that would test not only his strength, but also his wisdom, loyalty, and humanity. The voyage home should have taken only a matter of weeks. Instead, it would become one of the longest and most dangerous journeys ever told. Storms gathered across the sea. The winds howled like hungry beasts. Dark waves crashed against the ships as if the ocean itself had awakened. The gods had begun to play their game. With 12 ships carrying loyal companions, Odysseus set sail toward home. None of them could imagine the horrors waiting beyond the horizon. Some would be tempted by magical lands where memory itself vanished. Others would face gigantic monsters with an appetite for human flesh. Some would hear songs so beautiful that no mortal could resist them. Many would never see home again. But every legend must begin with a single step. And for Odysseus, that first step would lead to an island unlike any other. An island where happiness came at a terrible price. The island of the Lotus Eaters. Their first true trial had begun. As Odysseus and his fleet continued their voyage, the sea finally grew calm. Ahead lay a peaceful island, covered in lush green fields and strange flowering plants. It looked like paradise. Hungry and exhausted, several sailors went ashore to search for food and fresh water. Instead, they encountered the mysterious Lotus Eaters. These gentle people welcomed the strangers with smiles and offered them the fruit of the lotus plant. It looked harmless, sweet, fragrant, and inviting. But the lotus carried a powerful enchantment. The moment the sailors tasted it, their memories began to fade. They forgot the hardships of the journey. They forgot their families. They even forgot their desire to return home. All they wanted was to remain on the island forever, living in peaceful forgetfulness. When Odysseus discovered what had happened, he refused to eat the lotus. Realizing the danger, he dragged his men back to the ships by force, despite their desperate cries to stay. He ordered the sails raised immediately. Sometimes the greatest enemy is not a monster, but the temptation to abandon your purpose. Their ships sailed onward until they reached another island. Unlike the last, this land felt silent and unsettling. Smoke drifted into the sky from a distant cave, where enormous sheep grazed peacefully outside. Curious, Odysseus and several companions entered the cave. hoping to find food and shelter. Instead, they found the home of Polyphemus. Polyphemus was no ordinary creature. He was a gigantic cyclops, a one-eyed giant of immense strength, and the son of Poseidon himself. As night fell, the giant returned. With one effortless motion, he rolled an enormous stone across the cave entrance, trapping the Greeks inside. Then, to their horror, Polyphemus seized 2 men and devoured them. The survivors stood frozen in fear. They could not kill the giant immediately. Even if they succeeded, none of them possessed the strength to move the massive stone blocking the exit. Odysseus needed a different kind of weapon, his mind. The following evening, he offered Polyphemus strong wine brought from their ship. The Cyclops drank eagerly until he became completely intoxicated. Laughing, the giant asked the stranger for his name. Odysseus smiled and answered with a single word: nobody. Soon the drunken giant collapsed into a deep sleep. Working together, the Greeks sharpened a massive wooden stake in the fire and drove it into the Cyclops' single eye. Polyphemus awoke screaming in agony. His cries echoed across the island. Other Cyclopes rushed outside the cave and shouted, "Who is hurting you?" The blinded giant roared,
"Nobody is attacking me!"
Believing he had gone mad, the other Cyclopes walked away. Odysseus's clever trick had worked. The next morning, Polyphemus opened the cave to let his sheep out, carefully feeling each animal's back, expecting the men to escape riding on top. But Odysseus had another plan. Each Greek warrior clung beneath the belly of a sheep, hidden from the giant's hands. One by one, they slipped safely out of the cave. At last, they reached their ships. As they sailed away, Odysseus could not resist claiming his victory. He shouted across the sea, revealing his true name. The furious Polyphemus raised his hands toward the heavens and prayed to his father, Poseidon. "Hear me, mighty father. If Odysseus is destined to return home, let him arrive alone, after years of suffering, having lost all of his companions." Poseidon heard the prayer. From that moment forward, the sea itself became Odysseus's greatest enemy. Still, hope remained. The weary fleet soon reached the floating island of Aeolus, ruler of the winds. Welcoming the hero with great hospitality, Aeolus listened to Odysseus' story and took pity on him. Before they departed, the wind god presented him with a mysterious leather bag. Inside were every dangerous wind in the world. Only the gentle west wind remained free to guide the ships safely toward Ithaca. For days, the voyage was peaceful. At last, the mountains of Ithaca appeared on the horizon. Home was finally within sight. Exhausted from steering the ship, Odysseus fell asleep. His crew, however, began whispering among themselves. They believed the mysterious bag contained gold and precious treasures that Odysseus was selfishly keeping for himself. Unable to resist temptation, they untied the bag. Instantly, the imprisoned winds burst into the sky with unimaginable force. A violent storm exploded across the sea. The ships were hurled backward, carried hundreds of miles away from home. When Odysseus awoke, Ithaca had vanished beyond the horizon. One foolish act had destroyed everything. The long journey had only just begun. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps support the channel and allows me to create more epic mythology content. Also, let me know in the comments which mythical creature, god, or legendary story you'd like me to cover next. And this isn't the end of the journey. See you in the Odyssey, Part 2, where even greater adventures and legendary battles await. Till next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.